Hi, my name is Omer Hussein. I'm a medical radiation technologist at the Fort McMurray Hospital. I have been involved with HSAA for 8 years now, and I have been recently elected to the board of directors. So what got me involved with HSAA is because I grew up in a union household. My dad was part of a union, and because of that, we had a great life growing up. So when I joined HSAA in my community in Fort McMurray, we're going through a very difficult time. Oil prices were crashing, thousands of people were being laid off from the oil sands, and our members were becoming the sole providers for their family. And I wanted to get involved to continue the work that I saw unions do for my family and for my dad. And that's why I wanted to make sure that we protect our members' jobs, because they were the sole provider during a very dark time in Fort McMurray, and I wanted to make sure that we were there for them. The biggest issue that I see facing healthcare and our members is two things. First thing is the constant threat of privatization. It's the privatization of our lab services across the province. It's the outsourcing of elective surgeries to private surgical facilities. It's the proliferation of diagnostic centers across the province. And the list goes on. And that's a threat because it reduces access to healthcare and it diminishes the ability of our communities to access the care they need when they need it the most. The other threat that I see is this constant threat against our members. Our members haven't had a raise in 6 years. Inflation is at an all-time high. Everything is costing more. Gas is costing more. Groceries are costing more. Our homes are costing more. And to add insult to injury, after 2 years of a pandemic, this government is asking us for double-digit wage rollbacks. And I think that's just demoralizing and hurtful to our members who are on the front lines day in and day out for Albertans when they needed us the most. And it feels like this government doesn't have our backs. So the threat of privatization and the lack of respect for the work that our members do in upholding our public healthcare system are, I think, the two biggest threats that our members face right now. The message I would give people wanting to join HSAA or get involved in our union is that it's never too late. It's never too late to join. It's never too late to start at your local unit. Because when we get involved, when we stand together, when we fight for one another, when we advocate for each other, that's how change has happened. I'll give you a story of what happened. When I first joined HSAA, and the first time that I felt like our voices were really heard is when we held a joint rally with the nurses union. I remember the morning of that rally being extremely scared. I didn't know what the turnout was going to be. I didn't know if anyone would actually show up. I didn't know how things would happen because I've never held a rally before. But we held a rally, we put out posters, we encouraged our members to show up, and it was incredible. The turnout was unbelievable. We started the rally in front of our Fort McMurray Hospital. We marched all the way down to our MLA's office. Surprisingly, we had a meeting with our MLA. We were able to express our concerns and our fears and our disheartening of how this government was treating healthcare workers. And at the end of that meeting, in front of the MLA's office, we continued the rally. And I vividly remember standing in front of our members where I had my bullhorn and we were chanting, "They say cutbacks." People in the back were chanting, "We say fight back." And that's when I truly felt like our voices were really heard. I would like HSAA to grow by continuing to fight for our public healthcare system. I want HSAA to continue to advocate for all Albertans and not just our members. For example, right now in society, there are multiple people, there are multiple organizations that are fighting to join unions. You have Amazon workers that are organizing to join unions. You have Starbucks employees that are organizing to join unions. And what I want HSAA to do is find creative ways to reach out to the public and help in that process.